Uh, Hello, welcome everyone. We have a special guest. Obviously special for me because he's a United fan, of course. Hello, Saurav. Thanks for joining in, man. Yeah. And what an occasion actually to join in. I don't know if I would have invited you had United lost in the FA Cup final.
No, I would have. Thanks for the invite. I'm glad to be a part of this, but I still would have joined had we lost the final, because
Okay.
that's what I had promised you. Because I just wanted to join your podcast, the
Yeah.
much coveted podcast. So
Okay.
at
Thanks
the
for
end of
being
the
a good
season,
sport.
no, no, at the end of the season, because the way the season panned out, it was about, it felt fair to assess it when there was no more football to play, wherein
Yes.
you cannot make any, assumptions, or think that, it might turn your way, or it will miraculously be salvaged by something else. Yeah, so now it seems very
Yep.
fair to be at this moment.
So, yep, great to have you, man. And I'm pretty sure Maheshwari, before we actually get into the topics, before all of that, I'm sure Maheshwari is also, happy to have you today.
Yeah, definitely,
But,
definitely, definitely.
yeah, before obviously we can go to the specifics of the game. That's our usual nature, right? But what about the what about the week preceding to the actual game on Saturday, man? I have never seen a manager being murdered like that. He
True.
was literally crucified, and
He was put on the
you know,
cross.
yes, literally, and and it was so much that even a FA Cup final was won against the best team in the world, and starting from ITV to all the broadcasters, everyone felt like, they were not starting off the discussion by asking, oh, what about your future? But what was happening is that it felt like they wanted to jump to that question. It did not matter what he had to say to all the other questions. Everyone wanted to slowly, in a sly manner, wanted to jump to that question. So, Ten Hag, what do you think? Where does your future lie, etc., etc.?
The thing
For
is, Rajesh, it's the nature of the beast, and that
Yeah,
is Man United. Huh?
yeah,
And when you are coming on the back of the worst PL finish,
yeah,
it only gets worse for you. And what preceded that was a takeover in the middle of the season, which had everyone in limbo.
yeah.
So including the manager, including the fans, including the players.
Players.
So I think all of these things contributed somehow. Not to forget the injuries. I can go on and on and on.
Yeah,
So nothing was actually going Ten Hag's way. Plus, I think the way he has been brought up as a football manager as well, how he has
yes.
learned his trade. He has also grown his personality into a little bit of stubbornness as well, wherein
Mm-hmm.
he wanted to, continue his way.
Yes,
it's,
his way.
it's,
Yeah,
it's, it's the Ten Hag way or the
I
Higgs
can
way.
sense that there's that criticism
Yeah.
about Ten Hag which you are mentioning about.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. I mean, yeah, I'll get to that. But yes, I think this was the accumulation of, everything, because that and the British media absolutely love Man United when they are failing. Okay, so and this was, I mean, they so wanted United to lose the final, everybody,
Mm.
so that they could just, you know, be standing on top and say that, we were right about this guy.
Yep.
All
Yep.
throughout the season he cannot play against a good team. So yeah,
Yep.
so I think yes, everything was pretty bad.
Yeah.
So
So
but
Maheshwari,
but 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 I told you, right, that this is what they're going to do, and they
yep.
love Man United. They'll ensure that we're in the worst preparation mood. And that's what happened.
So Maheshwari, what did you make of it as a neutral fan? Looking on the inside, just I'm pretty sure you must have enjoyed uh, much of that. But to be realistic of the situation, because we are starting off with certain topics unrelated to the game, but we are starting off preceding to the game, right? All the criticism and etc., which sort of cited. What did you make of that? Is all of that
No,
warranted? All the
no,
yeah.
no.
What did you make of?
Firstly, I would like to start off with I'm not a big fan of the man, right? That is Eric Ten Hag.
Okay.
The way he has handled some of the situations, always felt that I felt a bit of cowardice in the way he handled a few situations when he would always go back. Oh, if he could have got that match or that match, specifically the Arsenal match, he keeps on saying, if Garnacha would have scored and whatnot. And I was like, please, okay, even if it would have gone in, or please move ahead of it. So, and I was not a big fan of the way he played certain kind of football as well. The amount of shots you conceded. At some point of time, I was thinking, is this United? But then I'm like, if United fans are okay with it, it's all right. That said and done, the way they crucified this man in a final, he's come to a final. You got to respect that. He's done it on his own terms with his own team. Whatever happens in the league is a different beast, but he's got you to the FA Cup final. Whatever you want to say, do it after the match.
Hmm.
To the build up of the match, the way they have killed this man.
Literally.
And I don't even, mind you, I don't like this guy. I don't like his guts at all.
And yet
Right.
you feel that way.
Yeah. And
That
then I
speaks
was
a lot.
thinking,
Yep.
that just means, do you understand how much you have to push a person who doesn't like you to like you?
Yes.
Right.
100%.
Because I was like,
Yep.
as a human being, I was like, what are you doing? And then I started reminiscing my days when Ole was the manager, and I realized when you have friends in the media, it helps a lot. It helps a lot, especially for United. I have realized that your ex-players, instead of being excessively supportive to the club and whatnot, they have been detrimental. It's been the other way around. Whatever you want to say as a player, you have the right to say. You're the pundit, you're paid to do that, whatever. And you have bias, it shows on the shows and whatnot. But when you have the bias, you have anything ill to say it after the match, right?
Yep.
It almost felt like, and I've seen, I mean, you're a pundit, you have to be a little diplomatic, but when your teams are playing, I've seen Neville and what do you saw, even Roy Keane is a bit of a person who has a foot in the mouth, but but other than that, I was like, whatever you want to say it after the match, right? But it almost seemed like a fan for me, right? As a neutral, I was watching because ideally I did want City to lose.
Hmm.
I did want City to lose, but so not a neutral, but a little biased. But I was watching, it almost felt like the pundits also felt like United is going to lose, so they were making the predictions way before कि ये होगा, ये
ये
होगा, ये
sack
होगा.
होगा. Yeah. Correct.
Which is not cool, man.
The thing is,
Totally
the thing
driving
is,
the narrative.
the,
Yep.
the thing is, I like the point that you made that it's good when you have friends in the
Friends in
media.
the media. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to go too footed already, but yeah, I think that holds very true for Mikhail as well. But
No,
let's
no, no.
see.
I don't think so at all. In fact, I've seen the friends that Mikel has, right, are from Everton, Tim Cahill, right?
The thing is, you have to uh, acknowledge the fact that Sky is a beast in the British media, and he has got the big Mers in there. So who
No, no,
act also.
but
But anyway,
no, no, no.
I
I
think
would like to clear this out, my friend.
yeah,
Merson is a Chelsea fan, a big ass
yeah,
Chelsea fan,
yeah.
right?
But he's also
I'll tell
playing
you
for
this.
Arsenal.
No, I'll tell you this. If Arteta was
He's
managing
also got
United,
he's also got Ian Wright. So
yeah, Ian Wright, yeah,
he's also
yes.
got Martin Keown. So
No, no, that's the thing.
it's never
Uh,
a single lane.
I
Okay,
think I
it's
strongly disagree. I think if Arteta was United's manager and he would have done what he has done with Arsenal, he would be on top of the world. They would have pulled him up like
I
that.
I I think had he been the United manager, he would have won trophies. Unlike the
But
last
he
few
he
seasons
already
at
he
Arsenal.
the cup that you
So
won, the position that you're in, and you're happy about, he did that in his first season, first half a
yeah,
season.
No, I mean,
of
look.
course, of
I
course.
mean, the position in the table, obviously, we are not proud of it. We are not going to glorify
Yeah,
eighth place.
exactly,
But
exactly.
the problem is that, do you think, that's my next question actually, which I was about to get to. Do you think that the quality of play that we exhibited, especially in the league, was it down to the fact that maybe Eric Ten Hag thinks that, okay, the league is gone, and top four is also not attainable. If we are going to go full tilt with whatever players that we had in the league, then there was quite a possibility that we would have lost out on more players to injury. So he must have thought a tactical decision must have been made in his mind or with the coaches that let's go for the FA Cup final. If we achieve that, we are anyways going to play Europa. Doesn't matter the position. We are going to go. I mean, and I guess, I mean, since we won that cup, do you think that decision he must have made? I'm just
See,
making a
the thing
theory
is,
up
there
here,
are,
right? Do you
yeah,
think
of
that must
course.
have happened?
We are talking about multiple facets that might have
Hmm.
contributed to this,
Yeah.
the triumph that ETH finally managed to win. So I think the first of all, I was telling you, right? He has got a personality in which he shows a lot of stubbornness,
Hmm.
and I felt that it was unnecessary, and I thought he was trying to make a point that. This is the kind of football that I want. I promised before the season I want to play, and he's stuck to that. And he really should have switched mid-November, December. I mean, come on.
And no one
He
would even
already
complain, right? No one would even complain.
exactly. I think 3 months into the season,
Hmm.
he really should have identified that. You know what? I
We
think
all agree on that. Yeah.
not I think it was already there to see that I cannot achieve the brand of football that I actually had perceived before the start of the season. I just cannot. So what's my plan B? What's my plan C?
But sort of
And
one thing, we all know he did
yeah,
not resort to plan B, C, D, like you are saying,
yeah,
but he did switch his plans in the last three games of the season, including the
and
final.
that
No, no,
brings
there's a
me to
question
the
there. Do
yeah,
you
yeah.
think the manager, the new hierarchy coming in, influenced
That's
that
that's
decision? Yeah.
That's what I had suggested you, right? The appointment of Jason Wilcox. I mean, again, we are only talking about such personnel at United because United have been in such a disarray. We do not even speak about these positions at other clubs. Like Arsenal is so well run. We do not even know. I mean, like a fan, I really do not know who their technical director is, who their academy person is, because they're so smoothly run.
No,
United have been
okay. I would like to digress here. I would like to say you people know what is happening in United. I, as an
yeah.
Arsenal fan, do not know what is. I just know Ineos has come. So,
Exactly.
right, I just know Ineos has come. I know who my sporting director is. I know who are the important coaches. But I think
Hmm.
that's more also to do with the indigenous club that you support, right? I
Of
think
course, but you also I mean in neutral British media, the way every appointment that United makes, I mean, who puts out a glorified article about some guy who has joined under the CFO at United? Nobody wants to know that, but all of those things are there because an ex
Hmm.
Ineos
Hmm.
person has been employed, and why does that have to be there? But that's the nature of the British media. And to be honest, I try to follow the major big six clubs sporting structure personally, because that's what I've understood, or at least I've understood that football has evolved so much that it really does not come down to only the manager and players anymore. It's a top to
agreed,
bottom structure. And
agreed.
I, as a fan who has seen the team rot in the last decade or 11 years, I'm bound to look into, not bound, but I have been inclined to look into how the structure is set at other clubs, right? So that's my
Yep.
personal point of interest.
No,
But at this,
but do you think
yeah.
Ineos coming in, right? Ineos coming in, was that a factor for Ten Hag to show off? Like, I can play with style. Do you think that may have influenced? Because at Ten Hag of last season under the Glazers, we have seen that, right? A little pragmatic approach in certain games,
Yes.
counter-attacking setup, mid-low block setup, and etc. etc. Do you think Ineos coming in changed a little bit of our dynamics?
I'm not sure about Ineos coming in because Ineos had already come in at the start of the year, and you know what? And we were still playing pretty pathetic football, and we lost football games to big teams, and we lost to Fulham at home. So I mean, just to say, because we have also lost to many other teams. with all due respect to the other teams.
Copenhagen and what?
Yeah, let's not get there.
Let's not get there. Yeah.
What I feel is that the appointment of Wilcox in April and the constant dialogue between him and Eric Ten Hag, which he reiterated quite a lot of times in his press conferences. I felt that there was uh, kind of a support for the first time for Ten Hag, a technical support from a top person,
Hmm.
that you should maybe set your team up in a different way. You can use these academy products, the academy products that you already have. Why are you not playing to their strengths, which we have been begging for throughout the season? I mean, why do you want to play the basketball kind of football when you know that you're getting hammered and murdered by so many shots?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think those switch up and the setup and the way
Hmm.
there were signs of change in the last three games, because we lost to Arsenal at Old Trafford. Never a fond memory, but in even in that game, in which everyone predicted that Arsenal might end up winning by 4 or 5 goals. We still looked like a team that we are not going to ship more than one goal. To be honest, realistically, at least shape wise. So.
Okay, I would like to pitch in a bit. Firstly, coming to the point whether he would have changed directions or he would have thought, let's aim for the FA Cup. I don't think that was the game. It's
Hmm.
easy to look at that in hindsight, but I
Yeah.
would say it was. I mean, more than the managers, when I look at it as a fan, I think you've put your players on a pedestal,
Hmm.
right? And your players a lot of times have not given their all. Matlab, there's one thing wherein you look and you're like, okay, this is his capacity. And then there's one thing you're looking like, he can do way more. First, okay, there's fatigue and all that. But how can you not put your 100%, How can you not put your 100%? How can you take it casually? At some point of time when you're not playing well, something should hurt. It's okay, it's a job, right? But if you have a bad day at work, you think, what can I do to make it better? You know, at that, I feel a lot of times he has been let down. Ten Hag has been let down. Secondly, I would say from the Arsenal match, right? I
Hmm.
was surprised how United was in such a good shape. Usse pehle, before that, there was no match where United were in such good shape. And
Yep.
that is the first time I was like, oh, this guy can do that. And then in my
He
head,
Exactly.
can do that, but why he didn't
Because
do? No, there was an
ju-
answer from him during that Gary Neville interview
no,
from Sky.
just to give more substance to that, we were rattled by Palace 4-0
4-0. Yeah.
just before the Arsenal game. I mean,
I mean,
it
it's
was
like he didn't want to set it up like that. It's like, I mean, I have not found a definitive reason or an answer because, half of his interviews are about
Mm.
So whatever.
no, no, but,
So,
but okay, I have a question before you move on. Like when I looked at that shape, I was like, okay, if they would have played in the shape, every
uh,
game would have been hell for most of the teams.
every game.
So
Yeah.
that's what you know what
That's what.
that's how we pulled off the third position last year. That's the exact blueprint that we followed.
Hmm.
You know
Yeah.
what? Stay put. We
Exactly.
had a great shot stopper in David De Gea.
Uh,
I again, that is another not small, but root of the so many wrong reasons that United played so badly. But we had a good shot stopper, and we played low block, and we relied on our strengths in the pace of
The wing play
Rashford.
and etc.
Yeah,
etc.
Rashford and Shaw, and on the other side we had Anthony and Sancho last season, I'm saying. So I was really perplexed by why would you not switch back. I mean, it's not something that the players have forgotten, right? They have followed that the entire season last season. Why would you not do that throughout the season? And in fact, that is something you should have. That is something that Ten Hag should have stuck by in the big games, at least against teams in the top half.
Yep.
I mean, I understand that you want to show your mettle as well as a manager, the kind of football you want to
Hmm.
play. With all due respect, you can try that out against the Burnleys, against the Sheffield Uniteds,
Correct.
who are at the bottom of the league, and maybe you can you luck out. But against the big teams, and Premier League is ruthless. Okay, even West Ham and Wolves have a pattern of play, and they can kill you. And even Crystal Palace, they're
Under
aiming
the
big
new
now.
manager, yeah.
Yeah,
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 Uh,
so
yeah.
I just had a final question to round this off. I'm pretty sure that is going to be also quite a discussion about the fact that we know that as we speak there is a ongoing review of Ten Hag as to and as we already talked about, the media has been milking about this whole situation, and they have declared that they are getting sacked. To be very honest with you, Ineos have maintained that stand that we are going to review the situation. There have been zero leaks regarding the situation because they're keeping it paper tight in the inner circle. Only two, three people know what is going to happen. And I personally believe that there hasn't been any decision made actually. It's going to go up for a review, and there is an expectation that he is going to continue. But I just wanted to ask that all this discussion that we had now, right? Why he didn't play? Do you think in that review there is going to be some level of accountability at least for what has unfolded, irrespective of the injuries? Is he going to get asked that, man, you could have switched, you exhibited in the last 2 3 games, could have switched your tactics and actually salvaged the season? Why didn't he do that? Do you think these questions are going to be put forward to him? If they are, okay, my question is, if they are put forward to him, he's not going to come out any positively. So do you also, are you led to believe that he's going to get sacked because of this?
Uh, it
Tough
is a
question, right?
very
I don't have
no.
any
It's not.
answer.
It's not. It's actually not a tough question, but it is a very fair reflection of what has happened. Okay, I
Yeah.
mean, the thing is, it is either black or white, which is either Ten Hag stays or he goes. But it is the gray area, and the gray area is controlled by the duration the review is being done. Okay, if it takes a couple of weeks, the gray area keeps on growing and you get to hear everything. You even get to hear that Marcus Rashford is the manager. Okay, so something so anything can come out of it. But yeah,
Yeah.
but yes, I think there has to be a very fair review,
Hmm.
and to be honest, Rajesh, I think it is not just sporting questions that they are going to review about Ten Hag. They will of course go very deep into
Very deep.
tactical
Yeah, yeah.
analysis and but also they are also reviewing the entire structure of United at the same time, which is in my opinion is a very big ask of Ineos to wrap up within a week. I know I said I want the decision to be made within a week, but if there's review actually holds from every aspect of Man United, I don't think that is going to be done in 1 week. Maybe they can review the managerial situation in 1 week and continue, but their review is going to take quite a long time. The entire Man United review, I meant. But Ten Hag is going to be accountable for a lot of the failings that has happened over the course of the season, and no matter how difficult it was for him, and no matter how many injuries, you're the manager for a reason. You still have the power to change results, influence results,
No.
even in fact even influence games that are not going your way, and that is what was not seen from him.
Abhay, so my question to you here is, do you think, do you think you know by now the general fan sentiment is for Eric Ten Hag to stay? So yeah. So, do you think United fans want him to stay because there is no able manager or a Tagda manager out there who can replace him? Or is it just because they want to break this cycle of sacking managers after 2 or 3 seasons and want Ten Hag to be given a longer ropes because Ineos are going to, you know, come up with a good structure, and they want to see a manager like Eric Ten Hag who has actually won 2 trophies in his 2 seasons. We were trophyless for around 6 years, and he's won us two in two. So, do you think what is the reason United fans are, you know, letting go of this such a bad situation? Is the worst league position in 11 years, right? Why are United fans so, you know, accepting rather to the idea of still keeping him? Why are we not agitated by this situation? Why do you think
mm,
that is?
We are
Uh,
agitated,
uh,
Rajesh, but I'll I'll ask
No, no,
outside
no,
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 and
no,
no,
no.
then
no. We
Go,
are
go ahead if
agitated,
you
but
got
the
something to
general
say.
fan sentiment,
yeah,
if I were there in that Crystal Palace game, I would give a mouthful to the players. Okay, that is my sentiment. Why are you clapping off our players? भाई मैं इतना ट्रैवल करके वहां गया हूँ मैच देखने के लिए और तुम 4-0 हार गए मजाक चल रहा है एंड आई नो दैट माई मैनेजर कैन प्ले अ लिटिल कंपैक्ट
pragmatic. Yeah.
pragmatic and whatever. तो
Uh,
मेरे को इसीलिए वो एजिटेशन है एज अ फैन इफ यू आर आस्किंग मी
okay.
देन बट द क्वेश्चन इज टू अबे व्हाट डू यू फील
Yeah,
मैन
exactly.
Uh, Majorly, I think it's a recency bias. Firstly, because you've just won a trophy recently, so there's I think a
नहीं
lot
नहीं
of fans
नहीं
are.
लेट मी करेक्ट यू अगर हम हारते भी यही सेंटिमेंट रहता
I'm not so sure.
नो
I'm not so
नो
sure.
यही रहता ये आई नो
That's
दैट
what.
सौरभ विल
Okay.
आल्सो एग्री
That's what Abhay. In the last few weeks, I was trying to, because I saw Rajesh's text a couple of weeks ago, wherein he was really getting into what Tuchel plays, how he does, and what he does, and why he has not been backed at other clubs, and why he would be a good fit. And that's when I told him that, you know what, I am really out of energy in analyzing managers that would fit at United. Right now, this is for the first time in 11 years or 10 years that everything else is changing. And you know what, Abhay, you're saying recency bias. Had Ten Hag been on the market right now, United would be the first club after Ten Hag
Uh,
because of his playing style and whatever he has achieved, at least in Europe.
okay. That's your thoughts. I completely disagree to them. The friends that I have spoken to. So it seems when I say recency bias, it's not just the game, the FA Cup. It's the games after they played us, where he showed that there's a shape that can be made, right? It can happen. If this wouldn't have been the end of the season, it would have been something different, wherein you're losing 6-0 to Crystal Palace on the last day. It wouldn't be the same. What I'm trying to say is, when you start improving at the fag end of the season, you see a little bit of hope. Maybe we can do this, maybe we can do that. Or the managerial appointments that are out there are not that great. And I would also like to point out, I've seen this recently with Chelsea and United. It seems that these people, uh, this is what my theory is. This is just a theory, and I've just watched
yeah
it
obviously
over the past a month or two. They let out a certain article, right, via the news media, and then they check fan sentiment. Just today, right? First, the article that came out was Ten Hag is getting sacked,
hmm.
right? And now you see an hour or two back, they're like they are going to review whether he's going to get sacked or not,
ah
right? Similarly, I've seen this with Chelsea also. Chelsea, though anybody comes, if they have bought him, they start putting him on the red carpet, bro. Like the others that they have not taken, we did not take because of this. I'm not saying United does the same way, but I think there's a major hint of PR in what is happening when Ineos makes an appointment per se, right? And looking, I also think that the major.
But at the same time, Abhay, I think Ineos need to be credited in the short 4 or 5 months that they have been there, that they have been thorough professionals in terms of how they have I know a lot of people, a lot of fellow fans are out there raging. Why are you not giving a statement out on Ten Hag immediately? I mean, it is halwa to nahi hai,
नहीं
because
है.
it is actually
No,
a
no.
very grave situation that you have to assess, right? And that is what they're doing.
yeah
I
if
mean,
they are going to
you
conduct themselves exactly like glazers and what they did
exactly.
to Louis Van Gaal
No,
then what good
so
are they
no, so when here's the thing. Till the last week, I actually liked what Ineos was doing, but in
hmm.
the last week, when those statements started coming in, that irrespective of the result, Ten Hag might get sacked and this and that, I'm like,
No,
what are
no,
you doing?
are you putting
See,
it up to like Ineos PR or something? No, no,
Like,
no.
no, no, not PR or something. How did this word get out? And
No,
if
how
this
do you know that what got out? Journalists
or,
can frame it however they like.
also,
that's
when something like this comes out, you need to go to the manager or somebody needs to go in and tell him कि ये सब सच नहीं है.
so
Ten Hag
so
did not
Abhay,
know. So
Abhay,
after
Abhay,
just a second. So
yeah.
after the match was up, right? Do you know the statement he made? That irrespective of where I go, I have won 2 trophies and I've reached these many finals. If I'm
हाँ
not
हाँ
here, I'll go to a different team. I'll win.
हम्म.
इसका मतलब कि तुम क्या कर रहे हो? Before the match, how are you doing this, right?
No, it was
And
not before the match. That's what he said after the match.
No,
And
I'm saying before the match you should have backed him up and said कि इतना तो
I'll
कर.
I'll tell you what has happened, Abhay. That Ineos have communicated to Eric Ten Hag that irrespective of the result or the outcome in the FA Cup final,
Hmm, hmm.
uh, we will conduct a
Review,
retrospective or a
irrespective.
review.
Hmm.
That is it. That is it,
That is it.
Abhay. That is
It
it.
is as
And
simple as that.
as simple as that. There is
Okay.
no two ways to it. Okay,
Hmm.
Oh,
and then
so,
and then and then the rumors of him getting the sack just after the final or just before the final or whatever the result may be was started by Di Marzio.
Hmm.
Okay, and that in fact was not directly tweeted or written by him,
It was just
and
spoken in some
it, it,
podcast.
it was just spoken in a podcast taken out of context.
Hmm.
Again, another thing
but
is
my question is, why was Time Sport and all these British tabloids also saying that, right? My thing is, and if they were saying that, right, for him to come out after the match and say this, that means he was looking into it. उसको पता तो चला ही. Why would he come out and he said something like that कि irrespective of where I go, he basically said that कि United की मर रही थी पहले, मैं आया हूं, मैं जिता, which is right, which is not wrong.
yeah,
But
factually he's
somewhere
correct.
he felt poked, like, right, he felt poked. Also, I know this is a little bit of pivot, but coming to the question why United fans are like Ten Hag ko rakho, because
Hmm.
I think finally United fans have realized that you cannot just United your way through, and you have to realize where you are as a club at this point of time. You cannot be like कि हम अभी 8th हैं, तो अगर हम फर्स्ट नहीं आए तो मैनेजर सैक, ये नहीं पॉसिबल है.
Yeah,
You have to
that is what
you
I
have to put in
was. Yeah, no,
you
the
have to
fair,
make
very
a good
fair,
structure.
very
You have to
fair,
make a
very fair.
structure, and
Exactly.
if and when right, any sane United fan, if he's seen that, oh, Ten Hag can do this,
Hmm.
right, you're thinking in your head कि नया manager आएगा, then it becomes a game of probability whether he can do this or not.
Hmm.
Ten
Hmm.
Hag had shown that he can win, he can play that kind of football. So as a fan, you're thinking, instead of going on probability, there's a surety here. As long as somebody puts him into his head कि हमें जीतना है, right? You don't have
That's that. Yeah, very fair, Abhay, and that actually highlights what I said, right? For the first time, we are seeing things change around
The manager and players.
around the manager and not with the manager. Okay, and right now, and in fact, to be honest, personally, what I see is that Ineos are conducting that the top structure or the entire structure is revamped, and at the same time they're letting go of players. Okay, it's not like that the players have got a leeway anymore, which had to happen. I
have to.
mean, Rafael Varane, for all his credibilities and honors, and I've got the highest respect for him, but he still was not the player that he was at Madrid for United. And a sentimental board would have still kept him on just for his leadership. I know, but
Yes.
to let go of him is also a big statement that a player, a serial winner like Varane does not get his way through at United, so no other player will also get through. So basically, the scrutiny is on top and at bottom. Bottom पे players हैं, top पे structure है. And
Hmm.
right now, and in the middle, Ten Hag is going to have a very fair assessment, wherein I think they'll have an open dialogue.
Yeah.
कि this is what you've done. This is what we
And
feel should have been done.
the thing is that the longer it keeps dragging on, you'll hear more news. And
Yeah, yeah.
Exactly.
don't expect the manager or the Ineos to address, because उनका simple funda है, they are being
Yeah.
professional. They will keep it
Yeah.
airtight. And if you want, मतलब जो Chelsea कर रहे हैं अभी, you know, have you been seeing any level of scrutiny for the position that they finished? They are not going to play conference. Oh no, they are going to play conference now, not Europa. Do you see any level of criticism with the amount of
No.
spend that they have? No.
So here's the difference. Any other club in the top six, even Tottenham per se, right?
Hmm.
Even Tottenham per se, who have probably recently moved into that space,
Hmm.
they would have got more scrutiny than Chelsea. It's
100%.
just that the way Chelsea is built up, the way it is droided with money, right?
Hmm.
The money has been pumped up, everybody knows, and I'm pretty sure sometime or the other they're going to be top points or whatever.
Yeah.
We are so used to it. It's an acceptance कि ये लोग तो यही करते हैं.
नहीं ब्रो, अगर तुम उनको एक ट्रांसफर बैन भी लगाते, दे विल स्टिल सर्वाइव बिकॉज ऑफ मतलब दे आर रेकिंग अप ऑल द प्लेयर्स, यंगस्टर्स या 100 million एंजो और
But
एनीवन.
I'm trying to tell this to you that if any other big club in the top
हम्म.
six,
हम्म.
barring City or Chelsea, if somebody puts in $1 billion, bro, they're getting scrutinized to hell for that position, that finish, and whatnot. They're
Yes,
getting
yes,
scrutinized for hell.
100%. Yes.
Right, and you keep seeing these. That is why I feel at least a lot of these what do you say, news reporters and writers and authors, some of them, bro, the way they say this is a long project, we will see this through, it almost seems ki this is not the truth. Yeah, like I can see it, I can see what is happening.
The
Yep.
thing, the thing about how reporters are spinning it, everything around United has been very clear to see in the last 72 to 96 hours, because even as a credible source as Athletic has put out a tweet that, you know what, we made a mistake, and we had to fact check about
Better
Ten
fact
Hag,
check. Yeah.
and that itself is a big statement to me.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, that's why I'm saying
That,
kudos to
yes.
Ineos,
Correct.
Yeah,
Kudos to
because
yeah,
Ineos.
they
No one,
probably
no one
said
lets out even a, I mean, क्या बोलेंगे, Morse code. मतलब ऐसे कुछ कोई एक्शन भी कुछ नहीं करता भाई, they
that's the
straight
way it
away
should
go
be.
away. That's how it should be.
This is what I've liked about Liverpool, right? Liverpool, when you see the way they have conducted business, the way they move around, ये
Yes,
हुआ,
yes.
ये हुआ, ये हुआ. This guy, they want the manager is coming.
Correct.
Klopp is going, okay, decided.
Keeping
We
it at
want a player, we're getting a player. None of this. That way, I've
everyone.
seen.
City also इतना
Uh,
तामझाम नहीं. They see a target, they get it. The next day you see the Athletic reporting, it's a here we go
yeah,
or whatever. So
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
thing with, and you know what, I kind of also feel with all the media noise that has happened with United over the last week or months, मेरे को लगता है कि Eric Ten Hag, personal feeling is that Eric Ten Hag should stay just to prove all the other journalists wrong. कि साले तुम क्या बोले थे? He will be sacked, right? I mean,
and
you are all wrong. You were all wrong. And
to piggyback on what Abhay said, you know, you made a very fair point wherein you said that why did Ineos allow the media, you know, the trial of Eric Ten Hag in the
Yeah,
past week, right? It was not fair. It was not fair. But you also have to understand that it was built up by the media. It was spiced up by the media only,
yes,
yeah,
because
yeah.
it was told to Eric that, you know what, just give your best, and good luck for the final. After the final we assess, that's it, end of
and
discussion.
it has been
But
that, and it has been that since a long time actually. Since a long time.
exactly.
It
Okay.
didn't change midway. And एक और बात बताऊं, the frustration which you were talking about कि, if they don't want me, just imagine about a 50 different occasions where he's been asked the same question about
Yeah.
will you stay or will you go. He finally let out that frustration in the post-match pressure, where that was the last question by the interviewer. I saw that
And
interview actually,
yeah,
and
the
he was
thing is,
asked that question कि भाई मतलब you could have played better football which you have exhibited. So he let out a frustration, and his reply was, you don't understand football, you don't know how to manage a team. So Ineos, if they want me, and he has also said this thing in a way that if Ineos have common sense, then they will know my situation. He has used the word common sense as well. So I guess that's what is going to happen. Again, it is part of the review. Wilcox and everyone else is going to say that we are going to have a structure. You are going to be given a list of players. This is the way that you are going to have to play. And it's not just about Eric Ten Hag का review. It's also about कि जो Ineos चाहती है out of the team, the progression, the players that is going to be given, he also has to agree to that, right? Eric Ten Hag is not going to say yes to all of the things. There are going to be uncomfortable discussions around, what kind of players he is going to be given, because previous administration, he had a lot of power. He's not going to have that power. ये फालतू का स्ट्रक्चर थोड़ी बनाया है कि एक इंसान बोलेगा एंथनी को 100 million मिलाओ and Ineos will write a check of 100 million. So I mean, that's
uh,
not going to happen, right? Yeah.
Eric Ten Hag was probably acting frustrated and reverting in frustration to all
Correct.
the noise created by media and not the lack of backing of Ineos
No, but
Maybe.
is
Yeah.
how
no,
I
no,
saw
but
it.
okay,
I mean
like
when you have a Lineker and Alan Shearer on your face, and they're not talking about the FA Cup journey, but they're continuously dragging you and downplaying the entire and your accomplishment by saying that, you know what, why did you finish eighth and all. I mean, just talk about the game that has just unfolded few minutes ago. Why are there not enough questions about that game and constantly circling around, you know
yeah, I agree. But let's just say, I think the recent example, like when a manager is put like that, right? Uh, it's better if the owner just comes in or puts in a word or comes face to face and says, "Listen, I'm with you. You know, through whatever this is, I'm with you on this."
I
For
mean, at
example,
least say a lie. झूठ ही बोल दे भाई,
eh,
but कर ले back.
huh, so interestingly, this is what Boli did to Pochettino one day before the
Yeah,
final match.
yeah,
उसको मस्त खिलाया. क्या बोलते
yeah. Dinner.
he called him to lunch. He said, we are with you, we'll do this that. As soon as it was seen that, oh, they are probably made Europa League, right? But I'm saying till that point of time the manager felt कि ये लोग मेरे साथ हैं, they are supporting me, let me do what I can. I
Yeah.
mean, this time also it did work in your favor. I'm not saying it didn't work in your favor, but if you just tell him कि भाई तू कुछ करके दिखा, you know, I'm saying it could have been handled better. That's what I felt. झूठी सही. Do you understand?
Yeah,
झूठी सही.
that's the thing. That's the thing. Why jhuthi sahi? I feel that with this ownership, it's not about vibes and what the fan sentiment is about. That, you know what, final se pehle, let's make the decision and just say that we put all our faith in Eric. It should be. It's not like we have just invested 1.3 billion pounds into a club, and each and every position is under scrutiny, which is fair, and that too at the end of the season. And that is what has been continuously communicated by
Yeah,
Ineos.
yeah.
But you know
Yeah,
what was the
So
surprising
but I'm
thing?
saying when news like this is coming out, all you have to do is probably sit in front of him or make a call to him or something like that, so that when he comes out after the match in the media, he can say कि नहीं मेरे को तो मतलब आप लोग बाहर कुछ भी बोल रहे हो, है ना? I I I have a good understanding with my
But
this.
I
बाद
just
में
have
कुछ
one
भी
thing. You know how a lot of news used to come out about when we were on a very bad patch, right? A lot of news was about Ten Hag has lost the dressing room. The usual, right? The cycle.
yeah,
Lot of journals will come out, right? He has lost the players.
yeah,
Garnacho liking some tweet where that tweet
yeah,
is criticizing Ten Hag, right? That actually has happened. But you
yeah,
know what? Because of that one incident, how other journalists paint a picture, right? All is not well inside the dressing room. And after the final, you won't believe the camaraderie amongst the players and the manager. I did not feel, I mean, there are certain players like Maguire
yeah.
who do not share a brilliant relationship with the manager because of what unfolded, right? He was stripped of the captaincy, etc. But there's a general feeling, right? The squad is in a better place than what the journalists paint for us to see.
No, the thing is, at the expense of sounding too biased as a United fan, and but I felt the camaraderie in the United group was also there when we lost the final last season.
Correct,
There were and it is a fact that 70% of the players are still the same. The core is still the same, and
correct,
the camaraderie had. So the reason of making this point is that I doubt that it hinged on the result. I know a trophy can lift spirits way too much,
Switch, yeah, yeah,
but the camaraderie or the dressing room has always been with Ten Hag, contrary to the
correct,
reports.
100%. And that should also serve well during that review. That yeah, I mean, players still want to play for Ten Hag. It's just that he was too stubborn to salvage the season or whatever. But yeah, there's a trophy that was there for us to win in a
yeah.
shitty season. And I could see the celebration in the players that because it was a shitty season like that and we were not able to compete in any way the entire season. I mean, there was not a point where we said, okay, this menace will stop. It kept on continuing, man. And then that's why I could see a lot of joy between the players and the manager. That was a very nice moment where, they were celebrating with the trophy, and every player wanted Ten Hag to actually pose with the trophy. But Ten Hag was like, nahi yaar, nahi chahiye, tum log enjoy karo. But they insisted on having the trophy. That was a good gesture in itself. And these all things don't happen if that relation is not there. So yeah, I mean, pretty good final. We won the FA Cup, but as United fans, matlab, United have always taken pride in winning trophies, and that's what we did. But this particular team is absolutely not ready to win the league. Yes, this particular team, with the way that we played to win the final, had we played the exact copy paste way in the Champions League, I mean, at least मैं दावे के साथ कह सकता हूँ, we would have made quarterfinals, bare minimum, bare minimum. Okay, we would have made the quarterfinals because we know our strengths. बट ठीक है, मैनेजर मनमानी किया, वहां ओनाना अपना मनमानी किया, आई एम द गाय. So yeah, for whatever reason we did not achieve what we could have, but then there's a trophy to win. We won. So that's about it. I guess we've had a very good discussion covering all facets of what went through preceding the FA Cup final, and also what went after the
Yeah,
trophy
the
was
before
won.
and after.
Before and
Yeah.
after was completed. But what happened in the FA Cup final? Yeah, that's वो कुछ बात करने की जरूरत नहीं है, हम जीत गए.